For 7 years, I worked the night shift, coming home at dawn while my family slept peacefully under the roof I was fighting to keep over their heads. I thought my sacrifice was the glue holding our marriage together, missing birthdays, holidays, and quiet evenings just to give them a better life. But one rainy night during a slow break at work, I discovered my wife wasn't just raising our kids and managing the house alone. She was living an entirely different life online, one filled with late-night conversations, inside jokes, and a connection she'd stopped sharing with me years ago. And by the time I realized it, our marriage was already hanging by a thread I never knew was fraying. We met in our early 20s, back when life still felt full of possibilities. She was studying graphic design, always sketching in coffee shops with that bright, infectious smile that could light up a room. I was finishing up a trade program, practical and grounded, the kind of guy who fixed things when they broke. We clicked instantly. Long talks about dreams, traveling the world someday, building a family that felt safe and loved. Marriage came naturally after a couple of years, a simple backyard wedding with fairy lights and laughter from friends who swore we were perfect together. Then the kids arrived. Our daughter Lily first, with her mother's curious eyes, and 2 years later our son Max, all energy and mischief. Life got real fast. Bills piled up, her part-time job didn't cover much, and we decided she'd stay home while I stepped up. The factory offered night shifts with better pay, overtime bonuses that made the mortgage feel manageable. It's temporary, I told her as I kissed her goodbye that first evening, the sun dipping low while I headed into the dark. She nodded, holding baby Lily, and whispered, "We'll make it work. You're doing this for us." And I believed it with everything I had. Those first months were tough, but there was a rhythm to it that almost felt noble. I'd leave around 7, after tucking the kids in and sharing a quick dinner, spaghetti or whatever was easy. The drive to the warehouse was quiet, radio playing soft classics as streetlights blurred past. Inside, the place hummed with forklifts and conveyor belts, fluorescent bulbs casting that harsh white glow that made everyone look tired before their shift even started. I'd load trucks, stack pallets, my back aching by midnight, but my mind fixed on home. Breaks were short, sitting on overturned crates with a thermos of coffee, scrolling through photos she'd send. Lily's first steps, Max smearing yogurt on his face. I'd text back hearts and miss you all, feeling connected even from afar. Coming home at 6 or 7 in the morning, the house still dark, I'd slip into bed beside her warm body, her breathing steady as I drifted off. She'd wake soon after, handling breakfast, school drop-offs, the endless cycle of motherhood while I slept through the daylight. Weekends were my chance to catch up, pushing swings at the park, building forts in the living room. But exhaustion always lingered, pulling me into naps while they played. I missed Lily's preschool graduation because of mandatory overtime, watching the video later with a lump in my throat, promising myself it wouldn't happen again. Year 2 blurred into 3, and the sacrifices started to feel heavier, though I pushed them down. Birthdays came and went. I'd work through Max's second, coming home to leftover cake and balloons sagging in the corner. "It's okay, Daddy," he'd say, hugging my legs with sticky fingers. But I saw the disappointment in his eyes when other dads showed up for soccer practice and I was snoring in the bedroom. Dinners grew quieter. We'd eat early so I could head out. Conversations cut short by the clock. She'd ask about my night, and I'd mumble about quotas or a broken machine, too drained for real talk. Intimacy faded too, quick moments stolen in the afternoons, but fatigue made everything mechanical. I justified it all. The extra shifts meant we could afford dance classes for Lily, a bigger backyard for the kids to run in. She seemed okay, posting family photos online with captions like, "Grateful for my hardworking man." I'd like them from the break room, a small smile in the midst of endless boxes. But loneliness crept in on those long nights, staring at the clock, wondering if this was what providing really meant, being absent from the life you were building. By year 4, small cracks were showing, though I told myself they were normal. She started volunteering more at the kids' school, joining mom groups for coffee outings while I slept. "It gets me out of the house," she'd say with a shrug, and I nodded, glad she had friends. Our talks over dinner turned surface level, schedules, bills, what the kids needed. One evening, as I laced up my boots, she hesitated at the door. "Do you ever think about switching shifts?" she asked softly. My heart sank. I'd applied for days, but openings were rare. "Soon," I promised, kissing her quickly. just a little longer. That night at work, doubt nagged me for the first time. Was I missing more than events? Was the distance growing because I wasn't there to close it? I shook it off, focusing on the pallet jack, but the seed was planted. Weekends brought fleeting closeness. Family movie nights where I'd fight sleep, her head on my shoulder, but come Monday, I'd vanish into the dark again. The kids adapted, calling me their nighttime hero, but Lily once asked why I couldn't be like other dads who tucked them in every night. I had no good answer, just a hug and a promise that someday things would change. As year 5 rolled in, her phone became a constant companion. She'd laugh at texts during dinner, quickly turning the screen away when I glanced over. "Just mom stuff," she'd say, and I believed her, too tired to probe. I started noticing the late nights. She'd stay up after putting the kids down, laptop glowing in the living room when I peeked through the window on my way out. "Gaming helps me unwind," she mentioned casually one day. "It's silly, but it's fun." I smiled, encouraging her to have hobbies. Anything to fill the hours I left empty. My own nights grew lonelier. Coworkers chatted about their weekends, barbecues, date nights, while I nodded along, envying their daylight lives. Sleep came in fits, haunted by dreams of missing out, waking to an empty bed more often, her already out with the kids. Small arguments bubbled up, me snapping about messes I hadn't seen build, her frustrated that I didn't notice the little things anymore. We'd make up quickly, but the resentment simmered quietly, like a pot left too long on low heat. Into year 6, the routine had carved deep grooves. My body rebelled, chronic back pain, eyes red from strain, a perpetual fog that made afternoons with the family feel distant. I missed Max's first school play entirely, overtime again, coming home to a video where he beamed on stage, scanning the audience for a face that wasn't there. That one stung deep. I watched it alone in the kitchen, tears mixing with cold coffee. She comforted me later, he understands, but her eyes avoided mine. Her online time increased. I'd hear muffled laughter from the bedroom when I called on breaks, her voice light in a way it hadn't been with me in months. Doubt whispered louder. Was it really just games? I pushed it away, self-blame kicking in. If I were home more, she wouldn't need escapes. I doubled down, taking extra shifts for a vacation fund we never used. The house felt fuller with kids' toys and noise, but emptier in the spaces between us, silent dinners where phones buzzed more than we talked. Her smiles quick, but not reaching her eyes. That rainy night in year 7 changed everything. Though the signs had been building for so long I should have seen them. Slow shift, warehouse echoing with drizzle on the tin roof. I scrolled idly, searching her usual profile for kid updates. Autocomplete threw up a similar handle, Nightbloom 87, with a profile pic that was her, but softer, more playful. Bio, late nights, deep talks, escaping reality one game at a time. My stomach twisted. Private account, but linked forums showed glimpses, comments on gaming streams, flirty emojis in threads about virtual adventures. I dug deeper on breaks over weeks, piecing it together like a puzzle I didn't want to solve. Her username popped up in voice chat logs, timestamps matching my shifts, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., hours when the house should have been asleep. There was this one guy, Shadow Rider 42, constant in her replies. Inside jokes about quests mirroring real-life frustrations, compliments that went beyond friendly. "You get me like no one else does," one archived message read. My breaks turned torturous, staring at walls while imagining her headset on, voice soft, and engaged in ways she hadn't been with me. Goodnight text she sent him, not me. Emotional confessions about feeling alone, trapped in routine, words that echoed my own unspoken fears, but directed elsewhere. The realization hit not all at once, but in quiet, crushing waves. One night, coming home early from a canceled shift, I found her laptop open, screen dimmed, but Discord still active. Channels named after inside references, voice logs with hearts. She'd built a community, friends who knew her stresses, her dreams of adventure we'd abandoned. And him, the one she turned to most. Late night calls where she laughed freely, shared vulnerabilities about our fading spark, how my absences left her isolated. "I wish someone was here to really see me," a clipped message said. Pain settled in my chest, dull and persistent. That's when it crystallized. While I sacrificed my nights for stability, she'd sought connection elsewhere, depending on strangers who were there when I wasn't. I didn't rage. I just sat in the dark garage, head in hands, regretting every overtime hour, every missed bedtime story that pushed her further away. Confrontation came weeks later, on a rare night off. Kids asleep, kitchen light low. I laid it out calmly. Screenshots, timestamps, no accusations, just facts and the ache in my voice. She cried quietly, no denials. It started as nothing, she whispered. Games to pass time, then people who listened. He was there every night you weren't. We talked until sunrise, unpacking years, my guilt over absences, her loneliness in a house that felt like waiting. Counseling followed, awkward sessions where we aired resentments, trust shattered in small revelations. Intimacy stalled entirely, touches hesitant, like strangers sharing space. We lived parallel lives under one roof. Polite mornings, strained evenings, kids sensing the chill, but too young to name it. Months on, with me finally on days, the house buzzed with normalcy on the surface. School runs together, family dinners, but the undercurrent remained. Deleted apps left ghosts, changed habits a reminder. Trust issues lingered in every late phone check, every unexplained smile at a notification. We tried rebuilding, date nights forced and fragile, conversations circling old wounds. But the emotional distance persisted, a quiet apartheid where love lingered but connection had withered. Regret became my constant companion, reflecting on choices, the noble grind that cost presence, the nights I gave away thinking money equaled care. Looking back now, in the calm of ordinary evenings I once craved, I see it clearly. I didn't lose my wife to the internet or some online stranger. I lost her to the nights I was never there, to hold her, to listen, to fight for the us we'd promised. Sacrifice gave us security, but it stole the intimacy that can't be bought. And in the silence that follows, I wonder if some things, once frayed so deeply, can ever truly mend.